Hey, Debbie.
Hey, Barb, good to be here.
It's great to have you. I am so excited to interview you because you are my favorite person,
Oh,
especially on this subject. I don't know anybody else that does this subject. Well, that's why you're my favorite person on this subject. So, you guys, welcome anybody that's watching this, the replay of this. Sit down, pony up, get a notebook and a pen because we are going to lay some gold on you now. That this is what Debbie shares with people can really like double, triple, quadruple your business with like no extra effort, really. Right? I mean, it's astonishing. And so let's just dive right in and let people know what we're talking about here. So, Debbie is a heart based follow up expert, right? And she's a speaker and founder of Power Up Your Follow Up. She works with relationship driven entrepreneurs, coaches, and network marketers who are letting potential clients and income slip through the cracks. Hang on, we've got somebody coming in here. Welcome. All right, we're just getting started here. So I was just introducing Debbie, who has worked with relationship-driven entrepreneurs, coaches, and network marketers who are letting potential clients and income slip through the cracks because they don't have a reliable follow-up system in place. It's all about the follow-up, you guys. If you haven't heard that before, then get your notebook out now and prepare to have your mind blown. So Debbie's proven step-by-step formula supports these people to have more ideal clients saying yes to working with them. Debbie, welcome.
so good to be here, Barb. Thank you so much for having me.
I love having you. You are such a wellspring of wisdom and information and just beautiful reminders and inspiration for us. So, with no further ado, I want to just jump in and ask you first of all, let's kind of frame this conversation a little bit. What inspired you to get into this in the first place?
Well, it's an interesting story because I did not wake up one day and say, oh, I'm amazing at follow up. I need to teach people this. That's not how it happened. So I'll share with you how it did happen. So I met a woman at a conference. I was a vendor and I was representing some health and wellness products that I represented years ago. And she asked me to follow up, which I did for 14 months. Long time, right? Not easy to do, but I just kept going. Finally, she said yes and became a client. And one day she left me a message and said, Debbie, you need to teach me your follow up system. You're amazing at it, and I suck at it. We need to talk. We got on the phone, and she just said, like, no one follows up with me like you do. You've got this gift. People are struggling with this. You need to do something with this. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, I had no idea, Barb, no idea that I was doing anything special, and I had no idea people were struggling with this. And I truly believe that we all have this thing that we take naturally, that we do naturally, that we take for granted, like our gift, right? And sometimes it takes somebody outside of us to make us aware of it. And I'm so grateful to her for encouraging me to start this business, because I would never be here with you today if she hadn't said that to me. And so that's how this business got started. Again,
I
I wasn't looking for it. It
I
just
love it. I think
happened.
you're 100% right. It's like that. It always takes, because the thing that we can do that comes naturally to us, I think we all tend to think, well, doesn't everybody do this?
Right,
And
right.
Debbie, no, everybody does not have a follow-up system. Most of us have names on pieces of paper and over here, and then something in this and over here, and then stuff falls through the cracks. And I know, being on the receiving end of somebody who has a good follow-up system in place, it is kind of astonishing and out of the ordinary when somebody you've had a conversation with calls you out of the clear blue sky, because you're going, wow, you remember me.
Yeah,
And what I mean is because nobody else does that. So
exactly.
just by doing that, that person stands out so much,
I
right?
know, exactly. I talk about that all the time because most people are not following up. And I'll share some statistics later. I can share them now, whatever, to really emphasize this point, because most people are not following up. And when you do, just like you said, They'll rise above their competition. You'll be top of mind. They'll be top of mind for you, and it feels so good when someone thinks of you and reaches out to call, because most people are not doing it.
It's so true. And, here's the thing, I think, those people that are watching this were, if you're like me, you're nodding your head and you're going, yeah, yeah, totally. And because it seems so simple, like the most profound things seem really simple, and I've had this conversation with you before, Debbie, and I've been nodding my head. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely. It's so simple. But it's like, then you go, well, what do I do? And you look at all those little scraps of paper and the stuff is in your calendar and in the and you go, and you kind of scratch your head and go, I don't know, I'll deal with it later, right? So that's why I'm so excited
Exactly.
to talk with you about this today. So, but before we dive into that big question, that how, I want to know, first of all, why is it that you're so passionate about this?
Well, so I was working on Wall Street for 20 years. I was super successful there and made a very high six-figure income, but I wanted to be home and be with my son and, be with my family. So I quit and left this income. And I thought everything was going to be fine because my husband was a very successful custom home builder in the Bay Area. But when the market crashed, we lost everything, Barb. So, bankruptcy, foreclosure, depression, it was devastating.
Mm.
And what saved me, though, were two things. One is I found a mentor. Even though I had no money, no credit cards, nothing, I figured out a way to make a 5-figure investment because I knew she could help me. And she did. She helped pull me out of that dark hole and help me to get back on my feet again. And then the second thing and I wouldn't have launched this business if it wasn't for her encouragement and for this friend who said, you're amazing at follow, but all kind of came together at the same time. The other thing is I tapped back into my follow-up system that I had created on Wall Street. I didn't know I had created a follow-up system, but I had one, and I just kind of tapped back into what I knew how to do best. And I built this new coaching practice from 0 to 6 figures in 14 months, right? So the reason the reason I'm so passionate about this and teaching people this is because I came this close to getting a job. And fortunately, the universe said no. I was devastated at the time. And now looking back, it was perfect that I didn't get the job. But I never want anyone to have to make a choice between money and their happiness. And so I'm so passionate about teaching these skills because they're easy skills to learn, but most people have never learned them. So they're not even on people's radar screens. They just don't know what they don't know. And when you have a follow-up system in place, it's going to help you share your message and get it out in a bigger way and make the impact you're here to make. And so that's what really fuels me, because I know that these are skills that most people have never learned. Sales and follow-up, which is what I teach, people have not been taught this.
It's true, and
And it
systems.
doesn't come naturally.
And it doesn't come naturally. That's the thing. And systems are the kind of thing. The problem, I think, one of the biggest problems with follow up is you just remembering to do it and thinking about it, right? And that's the promise of a system, is that it's something that it's like brushing your teeth. Like that's, in a sense,
Right.
that's a system, right? You don't think about it. You just get up in the morning and you kind of wander over to the sink and to brush your teeth. And that's the promise of a system, is
Right.
that ability to just have this thing happen, like by, without having to think about it. So what
Exactly.
are some of the things that challenge people that challenge entrepreneurs with this?
So there are lots of challenges, but I'll just share like 4 of the key challenges that I hear people struggle with all the time. And one is they're not prepared for their discovery sessions or their meetings or their networking events or whatever they're doing in their business. They're not prepared. People tell me, I just wing it. Like I don't plan anything in advance. They use those words, right? So that's number one.
Yeah.
The second thing is they don't have a system in place. They don't have a step-by-step process. They don't have technology. And so they're really disorganized, and they have cards all over the place and baggies and boxes all over their desk, pieces of paper like you were showing with names and phone numbers of people. The third challenge is more of an inner game thing. People come up with stories that stop them from following up. They have limiting beliefs and they have fears. And it just stops them dead in their tracks from following up. And the fourth area is so huge, and that is that entrepreneurs are not consistently asking their clients for referrals. and they're sitting on a gold mine. So those are the four biggest challenges. There's a lot more, but I think those are the most important one, the ones I hear the most.
Wow. Yeah, I get it. I can relate to every single one of those, Debbie. Totally. So let's unpack each of those challenges. When you talk about being prepared, what do you mean exactly by that?
Okay, so there's so many, like preparation is such a huge part of what I teach because it's necessary in every single stage of the follow-up process and the sales process. I'll focus today just on one area that I think is very relatable to people in this day and age now, and that is preparing to network. Now we're networking online, right? And this has to do with when you attend events, seminars, like anything online where you're meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I find is that people, there's two things I'll focus on. One is intention. A lot of times, most of the time, people go to these events looking for clients and to sell their product or service. And
Mm-hmm.
that just doesn't work. It just hasn't worked for years, right? And people get repelled by it. They, it's like, get me away from this person. And so it's better to go to a networking event with the intention of finding people who you can partner up with, JV partners, power partners, whatever you call them, right? So, and then the second thing that happens is people are not prepared with what they're going to share when they're asked what they do. And you're always asked, so what do you do, right? That's the question that comes up all the time. And so because they're not prepared, they end up hosing people down with too much information. And then it's really repelling. Like people are like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And back in the day when we were networking in person, people would shove a business card into your face and then proceed to hose you down. So it's just super annoying. So when I talk about preparation, it's like, what are you going to say when people ask what you do? And then what questions are you going to ask to find out about people, to get curious, right? What are you going to ask them to uncover whether they might have a need for your product or service, or uncover how you can support them, right? How you can help them. So there's a lot. I mean, I could talk about preparation for days, but those are just some key takeaways that, key tips that people can implement right away to impact the results to improve the results that they're getting from online events.
Yeah, those are such great tips, Debbie, and I can see how being prepared would make such a huge difference in the way that you feel at one of these events and also the way that you're received, right? Because they can be very stressful, even virtual events. Like you go in, all these strangers looking at you and you know what to say. So I can see how preparation is enormously
Yes.
important. If you just that's probably right at the core of having confidence going into
I was,
these things.
I was just going to say that I was waiting for you to finish. When you are more prepared, you become more confident. And when you're more confident, you put out an energy that's magnetic.
Hmm.
Energy is very subtle, but very powerful. And my clients they're saying, I feel so much more confident when I show up at a network event or when I'm on a call with a potential client or whatever they're doing, they're showing up more confidently because they know what they're going to do and say. They've thought about it in advance. They've prepared for it.
Yeah.
So spot on. It's so interesting because so many of the words and things that you've been sharing today are exactly how I language it. And it's just, I'm smiling inside because we're just such kindred spirits, right?
Yeah.
That's why we hang out together and
Yeah,
like each
totally.
other so much.
Definitely, definitely. So the other thing I want to ask you about, you mentioned limiting beliefs, and I can totally relate to that, right? But I want to hear what you think are some of the limiting beliefs that keep people from just following up.
So I hear a lot of different things, but the one thing I hear the most is that people feel that when they follow up or when they're, taking people through their sales process to invite them to work with them, that they feel salesy or pushy.
Mhm.
They equate follow up and sales with being salesy and pushy. And so I want to help everyone today with a mindset shift around this. So what if when you followed up with someone, you were letting them know that you were showing up in service to them and that you really cared about them? Like that would create a very different experience of following up, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, it totally.
And so there is a way that you can follow up that feels compelling, that's building connection versus feeling salesy and repelling. So what I recommend you do when you reach out to people is let go of your agenda, let go of your attachment to results. I'm very big on setting intention, like I mentioned with
Mhm.
networking. You always want to set an intention of what you want to have happen, but you're letting go of the attachment to the results, right? And then people will feel cared for. They will feel like you said, somebody called you out of the clear blue and you felt so good because no one else is calling. And so I'll share these statistics now because I think this is a perfect time. Would that be okay?
Yes,
We do
do.
it? All right, cool. So research shows that 48% of entrepreneurs who you'll meet anywhere will never follow up with you. Like they don't even make one call. So almost half the people you meet, you'll never hear from. And it takes 5 contacts minimum for the average person to say yes to doing business with you. Some experts say it can be 8 to 15. But here's the thing, only 8% of us are making that 5th contact. So 92% of us are stopping short of where most of the business starts to happen. And of course, those 8% are doing 80% of the business out there. So my commitment to my clients is to make them one of those 8%ers, right?
Yeah.
So when you follow up with someone, just like you said, since most people are not following up, and if they are, they're not calling, they're emailing, right?
Yeah.
Most people email, and email is great. But sometimes in this world, especially now with everyone's inbox being deluged with emails, we need to reach out to call people. When you do, I mean, every time I call someone, they thank me for following up. Like it's a big deal. And they feel like I really care about them. I followed up with clients for 2 years to at 4 years, and they finally became clients. And they thanked me. And now it's like the perfect time for them to be in my program. They're thriving, and it was meant to be right at this moment. But if I hadn't followed up, if I hadn't had a system, they would still be struggling with what they were dealing with. And I believe truly that we have a moral obligation to follow up with people. Because if people are struggling with something that we can help them with and we don't follow up with them, they could continue to struggle with that issue and suffer. And so it's up to us to make the call, reach out. It's up to them to decide if it's a yes or a no, but
Mhm.
we need to do our part. That's how strongly I feel about following up. And it shows you're really professional. It shows you really believe in what you offer. It shows that you're really passionate about what you do. It shows that you mean business, and people will, they'll take notice if you're following up over and over again. They're going to go, what is this woman calling me? She must really believe in what she's offering because she keeps following up with me. Right?
You know, I'll tell you, you have taught me so much on this subject. And in fact, you're in my head all the time when I'm following up because
The Debbie doll.
the Debbie doll, exactly. Because, you know, when my normal natural inclination, there's somebody who's really interested there. I maybe help them see the light that this is what they need. I'm like, let me think about it, right? So my normal, if left to my own devices, when I go to email them, my first thought is going to be, oh, I don't want to bug them. I don't want to bother them, right? And then the Debbie doll comes up and says, you know, if you don't reach out to them, they're going to think, yeah, this probably would be the thing that I need, but I don't know. And then they're going to just go and grab a snack and forget about it.
Right, right.
And their life could be so different if I just ponied up and reached out, right? So
Exactly.
you guys, this is so important. And if you get nothing else out of today, hear that Debbie doll, have that Debbie doll on your shoulder to help you with this, because it's impactful. And I'll tell you, being on the other end of it, there was a program that I was really seriously considering entering. This was like about a year ago. I don't think I ever told you this. And you know, at the last moment, I kind of got cold feet, and I thought, I don't think this is the right time right now. And you know, I kind of half expected somebody to follow up, and that call just never came. Like I emailed and said, I'm not even sure. And I was literally like this close to, like, it would have just taken somebody reaching out saying, where are you? I thought you were going to do this. And that call never came. And so what I did, you know, so in my mind, I was thinking, well, I'll call them, I'll reach out. But of course, then what happens is you gain up momentum for the side of you that's saying you don't have the money, you don't have the time.
Right.
So all of that, the more time that is between you and that person, then, and so I just like, screw it. And then I gained ammunition for that other voice, which said, you don't, yeah, you're right. I don't have time to do this. I don't have the money. I'm so glad I didn't do that. I mean, all they had to do
I
was
know.
out,
It's
it's
so,
crazy.
so true. And I had, I remember a few years ago when I did a webinar, I had phone numbers for some of the people, and every single person I called ended up signing up for the program. They didn't sign up on their own,
Yeah.
on through the webinar, but one of them said, I never would have signed up if you hadn't called me.
Yeah.
People need that extra support. They have questions. They just need to know you care about them, right? So the old-fashioned way. And I was just thinking, Barb, I have something super special that I'd like to offer your community that will help with what to say when you're following up. Could I share that now?
Oh, I think I know what it is. Yes, please.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So the one of the biggest things people tell me is they don't follow up because they don't know what to say. And so I created a gift that I'm so excited about, and it's called 3 Key Scripts to Power Up Your Sales Without Being Salesy. Okay. And they're for scenarios that we as entrepreneurs deal with all the time. So the first one is you find a card from somebody you met, who knows, 6 months, a year ago, longer, and you're about to throw it out because you're like, I can't call them now, or I don't even know who this person is. And you're about to throw it out. And to me, that's like a dagger in my heart. You never throw out a card. So I have a script in there of what you say to somebody that you met a long time ago, whether you remember them or not. Okay. There's different ways to approach it. So that is like such a powerful script.
Mm.
The next one is you've had a sales conversation with somebody, enrollment conversation, whatever you call it. You've sat down with somebody who is interested in learning about what you do. You made an invitation. They didn't say yes on the call. They said they were going to think about it or whatever. And then they went MIA. And you never hear back from them. What do you say? Like that happens to everybody, right? That's a really juicy script. And then the third one is if you meet someone who you think could be a good JV partner for you or a good power partner, what do you say? So these are, so you can download this for free. I'll put the link in here. And then as I'm putting the link in, I will share the bonus gift, which I'm so excited about.
Oh, what's that? You
So
guys, before she shares that, I just want to say Debbie shared those scripts with me about a year or so ago, I think, and they're fantastic. So you definitely want to click that button and grab those scripts, right?
awesome.
They're huge. They, because just having that. I also want to ask you about systems before I let you go. I know you got
Oh,
another
definitely.
appointment,
Oh,
but
no, we're good. We're good.
okay, cool. So, but that's in a sense a system, right? When you just have that script and you know what to say, you're not sitting there scratching your head going, "Oh gosh, what am I going to say?" So
Right.
having that, so it's like a system, right? You don't have to think about it.
Yep.
You copy it, you paste it, you send, boom, done, right?
And you're more confident, like we were talking about, because you know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So these
So
scripts are great, you guys. So grab them. And now, what's this other little gift you got for us?
So this other gift I'm so excited about. So I host networking events online twice a month, and I'm bringing heart-centered entrepreneurs from all over the world. And it's like a love fest. Everybody's like, I can't believe all the amazing people I met today. We just had one the other day. And I'm going to gift your listeners, your community, 6 free networking events. So it's $19 to register normally. That's what it is on my registration page. And so you get to come to 6 consecutive events. The next one is October 21st, and we have Alina Vincent coming to speak. We have a guest speaker once a month.
Okay.
And you'll get to network with people in small groups, lots of networking. It's all networking, and then having Alina. And so when you go to tinyurl.com/BAIMES gift, you will get the 3 scripts. And then once you get the thank you page, it will give you instructions for how to register for free to get the bundle. You have to put in your credit card, but once you put the coupon code in, it will zero out the money, so you will not be charged. It's just part of the system. You've got to put in your credit card. But that way, you meet all these people who then you can use the scripts to follow up with.
Can I
right?
get one too? Can
Yes,
I come?
you can. Yes, of course you can.
Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, and you've got Alina speaking. She's amazing too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be there. You guys, you definitely want to grab those scripts. And now, like, this is like a no-brainer, Debbie. Seriously.
I know. I know.
Networking events. And now we know we want to be prepared with something to speak about. And I know this is what you help people with. So if
Right.
you guys are like struggling with that, you know, you definitely going to want to connect on a deeper level with Debbie. But and some questions, and that's also what you help people with, is figuring
Right.
out what those questions are, so you're not just coming and blabbering on about yourself and what you do. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
which we do. Is not that we're bad people, but when we don't know what to say and you're not prepared, what we a lot of
We
us,
talk
I
too
know.
much. We talk too much.
Thank you. Stop me right there. So listen, so before you go, I also want to know, I want to say, because I think this is really key too. You had mentioned, I was paying attention. You had four things, or
Right.
was it three things? I
There
was,
was four. So there's
yeah.
systems and then referrals.
And referrals. Yes, that's the other one I wanted to know
Yeah.
about. But before we do that, the systems are really key. So tell me about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So when I say systems, I'm talking about two different kinds of systems. The first one is the technology that we use to keep track of all the people we're following up with. And it's called a CRM, Customer Relationship Management System. Most people I speak to don't have one unless they've been in business for years. And they're feeling more really disorganized, and like names are all over the place, and people are slipping through the cracks because they'll call them, but then they don't have the CRM to keep track of it. So they forget and they move on to the next thing. So it's critical to get a CRM. Actually, I'll put this link in here. I have vetted some resources, powerupyourfollowup.com/resources. There are so many different CRMs and email marketing systems. There's not one size fits all. So there's some really simple, inexpensive CRMs if you're just following up with people one at a time. If you are doing more extensive email marketing, you have campaigns and newsletters and all these things that you're sending out, and you want an autoresponder, there's ones in there for that too. But you got to choose a system, and they usually have free trials. Check it out, see if it works for you, and then just make a commitment to use it every day. My clients who are using a CRM, they're all are now, but before they came to work with me, they weren't. And they say their life is so much easier. They're staying in touch with their people longer. They're not giving up so soon. And guess what? They're getting more clients, and they're creating more JV partner and power partner relationships. So that's the first system. Then you can have the best system in the world, but if you don't know what to do and what to say and how to interact with people, you're not going to benefit the most from having it. So that's where I come in. So I
Right.
work with my clients on what to do and what to say at every step of the process. Those 3 scripts are part of like 60 plus scripts. It's probably close to 70 now that I offer my clients for every different scenario, right? So that, and how often to follow up, what method of communication, how frequently should you be following up? What do you say when you're calling or emailing or leaving a message or texting or going on social media? Like, what do you say so that you're not salesy, coming across salesy or pushy? So I'm all about it's all about a heart-based approach, Barb, like coming from that more feminine side of us to show up in service and, see how we can help people. It's not a pushy, salesy kind of approach.
Yeah.
Um, so, so that systems are so critical, and the more people you're talking to, the harder it is to keep track of everybody in your head. You just can't do it. You've got to have reminders in the CRM. You set it to remind you when to follow up next with that person, so they
And then,
don't slip through the cracks.
so it's letting you know, oh, you got to follow up on Betty, and then it tells you what was your last conversation with Betty, and then
Right,
the
right,
other part of the system though is that, like you said, knowing what to say. So that's where those scripts come in and are really important, because otherwise, just reaching back out to Betty could take 20, 30, 50 minutes to compose an email and figure out what you want to say. So with this library of scripts, when you have something like that at your access, it's really easy. You just go, oh yeah, she was going to think about it. So let's like think about
right.
a script. Boom, boom, done. Now you're off to the next thing.
Right, exactly, exactly. It saves so much time. So I have all these templates, email templates in my CRM. So whenever you send us an email out, a similar email out more than once, it's time to create a template. I have templates for so many different scenarios, and I just go into the person's contact, click on the template, tweak it, personalize it, and it's off. Instead of spending 10, 15, 30 minutes, it's done, it's fast, so you can work so much more efficiently and get so much more done and have more time to be in contact with your potential clients.
Yeah. You guys, I know it's like people hear the concept of follow up and they go, oh yeah, but it's these things that really make the difference, that actually make you do it. Having the technology to do it, to remind you, then developing the habits, and then knowing, most importantly, knowing what to say, right? That's where Debbie's expertise really shines. Again, it's something that's so simple, but if you don't have somebody like Debbie working with you to develop, or I should say, when you have somebody like Debbie working with you to develop those systems, like it's going to save you. That's literally how you create freedom in your business and income too, right? So like you said,
Exactly.
most people are leaving all that money on the table, so that's just going to up that money and give you the time, not have you just give you a bunch of busy work to do. So, all right. So that's systems and the importance of them. Now, what's this thing about referrals? You're right. That's another thing we all leave on the table, isn't it?
It is. So referrals, this is like we are sitting on a gold mine, and most people, most entrepreneurs are not consistently asking their clients for referrals.
Mm.
And whenever I speak, now it's online, but when I used to speak in person, I'd always ask people to raise their hand if they consistently ask their clients for referrals. And like maybe one hand will go up, like hardly anybody. So I ask, why aren't you asking for referrals? And a few things come up, Barb. The first is, oh, I don't want to come across desperate. If I ask for a referral, they'll think I'm desperate. Or I think that's being too pushy or asking for too much. I've already asked them to become a client, and now I'm asking them to refer people to me. So again, it's time for a mindset shift here. I'm going to actually share these stats first, and then I'll share the mindset shift around this. So research shows that 45% of people who are looking for a service related business come from referrals. They come from the recommendation of others, 45%. And on average, and it's different for every industry, every business, on average, the 1 out of 20 people that you speak to will end up saying yes to doing business with you. When that person is referred to you, it's 1 out of 6. So your chances of having someone say yes to working with you improves by 300%.
Yeah.
Okay. So our clients, here's the mindset shift. Our clients love to give us referrals. If we've provided great service to them, they've gotten great results from our product or service, whatever it is that we offer, nothing makes them feel better than to refer us on to someone else who they care about, who also gets great service from us and gets great results. We just need to ask, right? You're not being too pushy. You're not being too aggressive. You're not going to come across desperate if you come from a confident place when you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Barb, it's not enough to just ask. You need to know how to ask for the referrals, when to ask, and how to train your clients how to give you the referrals, and to train them what you want them to say on your behalf to make it really easy for them to refer. I don't know about you, but I do not have time to craft an email, to make an email introduction when I don't know what to say about the person. So I have them send me exactly what they want me to say, and then I make the email intro, and it just saves me time. And the introduction's more powerful because nobody knows better what they do than them, right? So when they write it out for me, and then I'll put in some personal thing that I admire about them, and then it's off. So I have a whole referral system, a whole strategy and process around referrals, because it's so important and so much easier to ask a client for referral than to go out and try to find new people.
Yeah.
And that's what folks are doing. They're going out networking, they're going out online, they're doing all these things, which are all great and important, because I know that's what you teach and it's important, but you want to do all of these things at the same time, right? Ask for referrals, promote your business online, do all that great stuff that you're so amazing at teaching people how to do, and then always add on to that asking your clients for referrals.
Yeah, it's it's a multifaceted. Everybody, I think a lot of people, especially when they're getting into an online business, they kind of think, oh, it's just this push button thing, or I just do a webinar. And when you were talking about webinars before, I think that's one of the biggest misnomers in the online industry, is because we all participate. Before we actually get into this, we participate in webinars, And we just, when you just think, oh, everybody's just signing up for this thing, right? But it rarely happens that way. It's typically on a phone call and a connection. So all these other things, even for an online business, you guys, it's so important to know how to follow up, how to ask
Yeah.
for referrals, when to ask for referrals, what to say in a conversation, what to say when you follow. Just like regular business, right? So online business, they're on the receiving end of an online business, it's the same as on the receiving end of a brick and mortar business, and that is people.
Right. Right.
We're
And
all
people want to
people.
know, and they want to know you care about them. They want to really know that you care. That's what people want to know.
And that
So,
exactly, and to feel good about their decision to work with you or grab your course or whatever it is, they want to feel that you care and that this is something that is really going to benefit them. Oh my gosh, Debbie, this has been fantastic. Is there
oh,
anything else? Am I forgetting anything to
there
ask?
is something. I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that I have this quiz that they can take
Ooh,
to assess where they're at with their follow-up skills. It's a real eye-opener. Everybody I speak to who's taken this quiz has said to me, oh my God, I had no idea that these things weren't even on my radar screen. So I'm going to put in this link and have people take this quiz, powerupbizquiz.com. Excuse me, powerupbizquiz.com. In less than 10 minutes, you're going to see where potential clients and money are slipping through the cracks.
yeah, you guys want to grab that too. I took that quiz and it really, I thought I had a lot of this stuff buttoned down, but it really showed I had holes in all of this. So I want to encourage you guys, man, Debbie, you've just given us so much. So first of all, join these networking events that you were telling me about these before we started recording, right? And they're like, people are showing up, they're super enthusiastic. That's why I'm eager to go. So I'm going to grab one of those seats. I don't know if they're limited seats, but if they are, you guys, I would jump on that because I'm sure going to grab one and share it with my
Yeah,
clients too. And then the
definitely.
scripts, and now you are giving us the quiz as well, which is phenomenal. You guys should definitely see where you've got holes or gaps in your follow-up system.
Yeah. It will help you
Fabulous.
to know where to focus to, start generating more consistent sales results.
Absolutely. Now, Debbie, if somebody on this call just wants to get in touch with you directly, is there a way for them to be able to do that?
Sure, sure. So if you really want to get like on track with your follow-up, and it's been a struggle for you, and clients are slipping through the cracks, and you're looking for a coach, someone to support you and teach you these things. And again, they're not hard things to learn. They're simple, but you just got to know what they are. And
Mm-hmm.
like Barb said earlier, once you know what they are, they just become part of who you are, just like brushing your teeth. It just becomes automatic. So if that sounds like you, that you are committed to growing your business, you're looking for a coach to support you in this area, I'd like to invite you to connect with me for a discovery session. And it's a follow up on your dreams discovery session. And during this, it's a one-on-one call. We're going to explore like what you want to create with your business, what's getting in the way. And I'll identify these 3 key areas because I ask really powerful questions. I'm going to find out these 3 key areas where potential clients are slipping through the cracks. And only if we feel it's a good fit will we discuss how I can support you. So I'll put this in here. I have limited spaces for this, so please only if you're serious about getting support.
Is that
It's
talkwithdebbie.com?
yeah, www.talkwithdebbie.com.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys, if this is such a significant piece of building an online business, right? Is making sure you have your sales skills and your not even just skills, but all the things that Debbie's been talking about, having that all in place. And this is where typically people have huge gaps,
yeah.
huge. So if that's you and you can recognize already. If you're not sure, go take that quiz and it'll show you if you do and where they are. But I would write down that URL, talkwithdebbie.com. And once you take that quiz, when you see where your gaps are, and you're serious about really wanting to, close those gaps. That's the thing I think in business a lot of times where we I've seen this so much lately. So many people are thinking, Yeah, the income is off, down, if off in the future somewhere, off in the distance. It's like, no, you guys, no. The income you need to, that's how, a business is about making money. And so if you're not making money now, you want to figure out where's the gap. Why are you not making money? That's money. The money is not a consequence of stuff that you're doing now that comes years from now. No, it should come
Right.
right now, right? Do you agree with me on that, Debbie?
Yes, for sure. It doesn't have to be out there. And I teach income producing activities. When you follow up, you're going to have contact with people, you're going to build relationships, you're going to be able to share how you can help people, you're going to find out more about their needs, and you're going to get more clients. It's just the way it works.
That's just how it works, you guys. And it's literally, even if you don't feel prepared or ready, business really is like building the plane while you're flying it. It literally is. And I always liken it to Marco Polo. You remember that game when we were kids? And if you're making money, you're moving in the right direction. You're gaining the clarity you need to get more clients.
Yeah.
If you're making money, you have obviously got some clarity and you've got some messaging down. You've got some scale skills. If you're not making money, then you're moving in the wrong direction. So you need to move towards that, getting clients. And that, by the way, is also how you make impact, how you make the impact that you're here to make and make a difference in people's lives. So there's
Exactly.
no time like right now to be doing that. So, and Debbie is the right person to help you with all these systems. Debbie, this is great. Do you want to add anything in closing?
I just want to say that, just kind of reiterate what I said before, that we all have a gift. We all have something that can make a huge difference in people's lives. And if we're not following up, we're going to be the best kept secret. And our people are waiting for us. So if, again, if this is something that just hasn't been on your radar screen, it's been a missing piece of the puzzle for you, which it is for so many entrepreneurs, please reach out, because I want you to make the income and the impact you're here to make. And it's going to be very challenging to do that without a follow-up process in place. And this is my genius. This is what I can do this in my sleep. It just comes automatically to me. It's just my gift, and it isn't for most people. And so please reach out. I'd love to, have a conversation and support you.
And your other gift, Debbie, is inspiring and teaching others. So sharing that gift, I have to say, you're very talented at that as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate that.
Debbie, thank you so much for your time and this
Oh,
super
thank you.
valuable
Thank you.
wisdom. And thank you guys for hanging out with us and watching us, whether it's here or on the replay or whenever, wherever. This information is timeless. So if you're hearing this, it's exactly the right time for you too. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Barb.
Debbie.
This has been
Ciao
so
for
much fun.
now.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Bye,
You got it.
everybody.